From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, May the 12th, 2020. An IDF soldier was killed today in the West Bank. Sergeant First Class Amit Ben Yigal was a member of the elite Golani Brigade Reconnaissance Company. His unit was in the midst of an overnight operation in the Palestinian village of Yabed when he was struck in the head by a rock that was thrown at the troops. Despite wearing a helmet, Yigal was killed. The 21-year-old was from the central Israeli city of Ramat Gan. He was the first IDF soldier to be killed in action this year. He was laid to rest this evening. Israeli leaders, including Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Blue and White leader Benny Gantz, and Israel's President Reuven Rivlin shared their grief and vowed to find those responsible and bring them to justice. The IDF is searching the area and are questioning several Palestinians that reside in the building from which the rock was thrown. Later this morning, a Palestinian man tried to stab Israeli soldiers at a security checkpoint in Kalandia, north of Jerusalem. The officers opened fire and shot the attacker, who was taken to the hospital for treatment. With the swearing in of Israel's new unity government just days away, a new ambassador to the United States and to the United Nations has been named. Netanyahu appointed Public Security Minister Gilad Erdan to both positions. Erdan will serve during Netanyahu's first 18 months of the rotating partnership. He said, "I am proud and excited for the privilege of being able to fight on behalf of the righteousness of our path in the international arena and to defend Israel in light of the challenges ahead." Erdan, if approved by the new government, will replace Israel's current ambassador to the U.S., Ron Dermer, and its current ambassador to the UN, Dani Danon. When Gantz takes over the premiership for the second 18 months, he will name his own envoy to the U.S., but Erdan will remain in the UN post. Jewish leaders congratulated Erdan. Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations Arthur Stark, William Daroff, and Malcolm Hoenlein wrote, "Minister Erdan is a committed public servant with deep connections to the American Jewish community. His most recent postings provide him with extraordinary credentials for representing Israel in the diplomatic arena at the United Nations and with Israel's greatest friend and ally, the United States of America." Later today, Netanyahu announced that former Speaker of the Knesset, Yuli Edelstein, will be Israel's new health minister in the new government. Edelstein said, after serving the citizens of Israel for 7 years as Knesset Speaker, "I chose to take on the central and significant challenge facing the state of Israel, the fight against the coronavirus, and preparing the health system for new challenges." The Anti-Defamation League said that the last year marked a significant rise in anti-Semitic incidents. The 2019 ADL audit of anti-Semitic incidents released today shows 2,107 anti-Semitic incidents recorded last year, 61 of them physical assault cases, 1,127 harassment, and 919 acts of vandalism. The statistics show a 12% increase and the highest numbers since the group began tracking such incidents back in 1979. Last year, of course, saw the deadly attack on the Chabad of Poway synagogue, at the Jewish grocery store in Jersey City, and the attack on a rabbi's home in Muncie. CEO Jonathan Greenblatt wrote of 2019, "This was a year of unprecedented anti-Semitic activity, a time when many Jewish communities across the country had direct encounters with hate. This contributed," he said, "to a rising climate of anxiety and fear in our communities." And while saying that there is no single antidote or cure for the phenomenon, the ADL was committed, Greenblatt said, to fighting back against this rising tide of hate and will double down on our work with elected leaders, schools, and communities to end the cycle of hatred. Well, a truly breathtaking sight at the Western Wall in Jerusalem this week. Flocks of swifts arriving, as they do every year at this time, to the holy site, the end of their migratory pattern, which begins in Africa. And with the Kotel close to empty because of the coronavirus, the birds had plenty of space. The head of the urban division at Israel's Society for the Protection of Nature, Amir Balaban, said the colony of swifts that visit the Kotel every year is likely one of the world's oldest. He told Zman Yisrael they probably nested here already in the era of King Herod, 2,000 years ago. Some 90 pairs of swifts nest at designated cracks in the stones of the Kotel, and when not nesting, they are in the air. Balaban said they sleep during flight while gliding on air currents. A swift is capable, he said, of falling asleep in Jerusalem and waking up in Jordan. And today marks the anniversary of the birth of the State of Israel on the English calendar, May the 14th of 1948. And special programming for you tonight includes at 7 o'clock, Daniel Gordis on the significance of the Balfour Declaration. At 8, Rafael Medoff talks about the play A Flag is Born. At 8:30, it's Stories of the Palmach. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Yossi Ron, whose parents were killed in the Arab massacre of Kfar Etzion on May the 13th of 1948. And at 10 o'clock, Benny Morris talks about Israel's War of Independence. And coming up right after this newscast, Shachar Azani speaks with Dr. Gadi Mador, Executive Director of Technoda Science Education Center in Israel. He talks about his work to bridge societal gaps through science education and special activities in support of the children of medical staff fighting the coronavirus. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, May the 12th, 2020. I'm Teisha Bader. Stay healthy. Stay well.